Welcome, welcome viewers all over the world to your favorite show, African Women Open Talk Show. Remember, it's not about the continent of Africa, it's about you who's watching us, African woman, wherever you are. We invite you to our favorite show. Do not forget to subscribe to Prophetess Trizah YouTube channel. Like, share with your friends so they can be imparted, they can be changed today. We invite you to our show with the PT herself, our mama, the main host. Yeah. Mama, you looking fried.
Thank you.
In your green, and you smell good.
Yeah. PT fragrance.
It's a PT fragrance. They need to follow it up. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Woman empowerment.
Yeah. And I'm your co-host, MC Biela, with my fellow co-host,
Marceline Bogo.
Yes.
Actually, Mama, we are still in the month that we're celebrating women.
Yeah.
Yes. And we've been talking of women empowerment and women this and women that. But actually, we just wanted to know, as our main host, what do you have in store for an African woman today? What should this woman expect? What should she anticipate in our program today?
We are continuing with women empowerment, whereby we are looking at ways of empowering women by encouraging them. And, you know, when I look at our last discussion in the part 2 of the women empowerment, where I gave a testimony on how, you know, I started rising in corporate and business. Okay, I haven't gone deep in business because remember I said how I started by selling t-shirts, then I went into corporate and here I am, you know. The thing that I need to tell a woman who is out there is that you are able to do it and you can make it in life. You just need to change your mindset. And you need to be surrounded by the right people at the right time. What is needed in a woman when it comes to empowerment, because everywhere in the world they're speaking about empowering women and women empowerment. And you wonder why still it's not at par, you know, it's not still 50-50, and especially in Africa whereby women are still very far from, you know, being equal with men and when it comes to opportunities. I look at an African woman and her surroundings and her upbringing, and I see it as a challenge. Because there is no solid ground that has been, you know, laid out for an African girl to grow into rising. When I look at my children, whereby they're half African and half European, you see how their culture is and ours, it's totally different. You see at an early age, their father, their grandmother is always talking about how, you know, they need to do certain things that will help them in life. My kids at their age, they can shower by themselves, they can do things by themselves. So I think when it comes to empowering women, and especially in Africa, because we are in African Woman Open Talk Show, we're gonna just be talking about African women without looking at the continent, but African women everywhere. Why? Because we are African and this is where we were brought up and this is what we know. So we want to speak of what we know, and that's why it's called Open Talk Show. Now, African women, they don't have a place to voice out what they go through and the challenges. At the same time, they also don't have a place to sit and listen to people who can nurture them, who can mentor them. Of course, I'm not saying they're not there. They are there. But you see, very few people have made it and they decide to go back to try and lift the ones that they left behind.
And that's a very serious point, Mom, right there. I need to stop it because, first of all, you're a prophet. You're in business. You're a guru, you know, retired from this other, from corporate marketing and all that. In this mentorship, when you spoke something about the base, where we are being lifted, the African woman is lifted from the base. How do you deal with different women who are from different base, how they were raised differently? How does it work as a mentor? I believe you mentor a lot of people.
First, you have to understand we're in 21st century, so we are diverse, and you need to look at people with their backgrounds and their cultures, and first respect it before you try to change them. So you have to respect this African woman as the woman who grew up in certain traditions and culture. Don't try to put her down because of that. So you need first to understand her background and then you push her through. So remember, somebody like me to grow and become the person I am, and that's why I always tell people, before you can talk about my story, get to know, before you can talk about my glory, get to know my story. There is a story behind it, and that's why I needed to share with my people here, so that they can know who is talking before them, and they can know that I did not wake up one morning and I was very successful. No, I had to make a decision. So now, as an African woman, you need to reach a point where you change your mindset. Once you change your mindset, then it's easy to be equipped. It's easy to hear out. It's easy to be surrounded by the right people. Because already when you're working with certain mind, you will end up meeting people who are having the same mind. So one of the challenges that I see in African women, and when it comes to empowerment, is because we have not gone to the grassroots.
That's the point.
We just keep on talking of, you need to be confident, you need to be bold, but we don't look at the real problem with an African woman. I see when it comes to empowering women, they need to be empowered psychologically, because psychologically and socially, it's more of the same. And then that will help them to rise politically, because they have to be empowered into politics. And then when we move from there, then they also need to be empowered economically. It's a time where women, they have to stop depending on men. You know, those days during our parents, it was like, no, a woman was being prepared just to become a wife. To cook, to do, you know, home stuff. And, you know, if you're beautiful and you come from a well-off background, then they had to look for a man, you know, who really can keep you. So a time has come, as African women, we need to realize we're in 21st century. We can't keep on looking for men with money. So we need to empower women economically, you know. So when we look at these things, they can help women to go, you know, into other levels in life. Because if psychologically and socially you've been dealt with, then for you to rise politically, it's very easy. For you to rise religiously, like me, to become a woman of God, it's easy, because I've been dealt with certain things in the back of my mind. You know, and I've moved on. And I'm looking at things, you know, in a different way.
Mom, right there, when you spoke about the background and, you know, psychologically, there are women out here who are watching us today. They've been through psychological, issues that have suppressed them from the family level, from the society level. Have you ever had such an encounter? How can you even impact somebody who's looking at us today, who are psychologically being affected? Because you said you cannot be empowered even politically or economically if your mindset is still tuned in a way like you feel like you're small.
Yeah, you know, in Africa, women, they go through so much. And most of the time, they don't have the right people to speak to. And when it comes to people to speak to, they end up speaking to their friends, and their friends are also going the same
situation.
So it's like they can't give them a concrete, you know, help or answer to their problems. So an African woman needs to be helped to come out of the cocoon of, you know, things that surrounds her that makes her be suppressed and despondent. You understand? Because you spoke like of a woman whereby people, instead of celebrating her achievement, people were looking at things that really are not connected with her achievement, because she was speaking about her career and the achievement in her career. It was no time to speak achievement on family life. But people, instead of looking at the achievement in her career, they brought in, you know, issues of,
do you have a husband?
Kids, are you married, and all that. So you see, most of the time, women, when they want to rise up in Africa and they're not married, they are pulled back by that, you know. And that's what I'm saying. We need to look at how to equip women psychologically, how to empower them psychologically, that they can stand and know that I am fine, I can do it. My background and the things that I went through in my life, they don't hold me back. I can keep moving. Personally, I have gone through so much in my life, and when you look at me, I look like I'm very perfect. Apart from just selling t-shirts, I'm a woman who has been raped, and you know, without clearing that in my mind, I would not be standing here. I would have not been married, because I remember at some point I said, you know what? I will never get married. I don't even want to stand in front of people. How do I look at all these men when they're seated here in front of me? How do people judge me? Anyway, when we come back, I can speak on that just to encourage a woman who has been, defeated emotionally and psychologically because of your upbringing and your background and your past experience. Don't let that hold you from moving forward. We are here so that you can know you can be empowered. You just need to change your mindset and things will fall in place.
Wow.
Be confident, be bold. Come out, speak, but speak to the right people.
Wow.
We're going to be right back.
Yes.
I love you. Thank you so much for being connected with us. It's me, Prophetess Trizah, joined in by my beautiful daughters, Stella, MC, Biala, and Marcelina. We are back, and this is African Woman Open Talk Show, where we are looking at empowering a woman and how a woman needs to be empowered. How do African women raise to become this lioness, who conquers it, who calls it short, without feeling suppressed and despondent by the society, And we keep on saying women, they need to be confident, they need to be bold, they need to be courageous.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if we are going to empower women, then we also need to look at the emotional aspect of it.
Yes.
We need to look at it psychologically. Because why women are not raising, it is not just about them becoming politicians or becoming great successful businesswomen. It takes more than that.
Wow.
First, we need to look at the grassroots. How is this African woman being dealt with emotionally, psychologically, socially? You get, and that's why I finished at a point where I was about to share with people,
your big testimony. I mean, subscribe, like, share with your friends, because this is really big. You need to get this topic right. I mean, my prophet, I'm still in shock here, and I think I don't know about
I'm also shocked. I don't know how to explain it, but it is just to show you that an African woman, you do not have an excuse. There is no excuse, because for somebody like you, prophet, been through all such emotional traumas, been through divorce, been through rape, been through other things that we do not know of,
but still,
but still able to rise to the place where you are. African woman, you have no excuse. Mama, please continue the testimony.
Actually, I don't know how to put it, but I was about to tell you a story of how, as a woman, I look so perfect, and I look like, I was born from this palace. And of course, that bit, you're not going to look at it because I told you already, like, I grew up in poverty, and here I am. So now, apart from just that, I can tell you I'm one woman who has gone through so much emotionally. As you have said, I got married at the age of 23, and at 26, I was out with a child.
Single mother.
Yes, as a single mother. And you can imagine, as I told you, I rose in, corporate, being a single mother. It's also not very easy. But at the same time, I'm this woman who was raped at the age of, I think 19. I don't remember very well. I think it was at the age of 19. And at some point, I felt like I'm useless. And I feel like this is how most women in Africa feel useless. Why? Because we go through so much and we don't have the right people to speak to. There is no open forum for us to speak. Why? Because we are always misjudged. People, you can't go to your parents and tell them that I've been raped. How?
It's a taboo.
Exactly, it's a taboo. First, they look at you like, where were you? How did this man arrive to the place of raping you? What were you dressed in? You see these things happening whereby an African woman, if she dresses like this, she's told that's why she deserves to be raped. She goes to the office wearing a short skirt and looking elegant. Men are like, oh, this one, no wonder she's being misused here and there. We are so judged with everything and and nothing, to be honest.
It's true.
So, as an African woman, you need to clear your mind. You need to wash off everything that you have gone through in your life. But you don't just wake up in the morning and say that, oh, I was raped, I'm done with the rape. I'm moving. No. You
Seriously.
have
Yeah,
to
it
go
can be like
through
that.
the process of healing. But that's a topic for another day. But the topic here we are in, it's empowerment. I want to tell you something, that this rape was one of the things that would have held me back
Very much.
from rising
Yeah.
to become a successful woman in marketing, or becoming a successful businesswoman, or becoming a successful married woman,
let me-
or becoming a successful woman in ministry. Because, you know, when you're raped emotionally, you are drained.
You know what, my prophet, I can relate with you on that one, because I went through the same thing. I was raped in the age of, I think was 16 or 15. And I think this is the first time people would hear about it, because myself, I'm terrified to even remember about it. How did you come out of it? Because sometimes I feel like I'm still there somehow. How did you come out of it?
And the worst was, it was through friends. And that's why I'm always speaking about women being surrounded by the right people and not just trusting everyone, you know. And even forgive the person who did this for me, because they planned it for me. Wow. It was not that I was walking on the road. It was a planned thing through teenagers, and that's why I'm overprotective with my girls. You know. You trust your friends and you think they're okay, but they felt bad that I was still a virgin, and then they had already, you know, lost it. And so they organized and they were given money for it, and I got raped. It was very difficult for me, and I think this we're going to discuss it another day, where we need to speak about healing when it comes to the things that African women, they go through. But I will tell you one thing, it had made me feel disgraced.
Very much.
And it's made me feel useless and wasted. Yeah. Because one, it's a very long story, but at that time when I was raped, also I got infected with certain diseases, but not HIV, thank God. Some STDs and all that, and I was not pregnant. And of course, I was under the church of Catholic, and I was, as I told you, I used to work with Salesian Sisters of Don Bosco, and they helped me. They took me to the hospital. But I can only imagine how many women are out there and they don't have any help in there. Yeah. So I thought like I was healed, and as I've said, I'll come back with a full testimony on this.
We need that.
So that somebody can be healed. We're going to be discussing about rape another day. Yeah. But how did I let go of this and rise? That's important. And why did I talk about rape while we're discussing about empowering women? You might wonder, where does it come from? It is because it is one thing that had held me and pulled me off completely, not just in marriage, but even to stand and speak as a woman.
Self-confidence.
Exactly. Every time I stood to speak, I looked at men, I would just go off. And I would just feel like I'm useless. What kind of a woman am I? Like a woman who was just, wasted like this, went through this. And the devil is a liar, because he keeps planting things in your mind. Imagine, how can you be held from moving forward in your career or politically or economically by rape? But I'm showing you, this is how much in Africa these small things can hold us from moving forward. So for us as women to move forward and to be to become empowered, and so we can stand with confidence, is where we need to deal with certain issues amongst us. And this brings me to where I want to say that for an African woman, this young girl, to rise up, we need to create a conducive environment for her, and protect this girl, and not be overprotective. But we need to speak to them. And that's why we say that women, they need to be empowered, not only economically or psychologically or politically, even education. So girls needs to be educated on these things. So if we can cater all around, actually for me, I look at it more of psychological, emotional, and education. If we can combine these things, then it's so easy for a woman to arise economically and become a millionaire and become whatever she want to be, to do business freely. It's so easy for a woman to work in parliament with confidence. So now we need to deal with these things, emotional,
The trauma.
the traumas
Yeah.
that women go through.
Yeah.
If we could deal with these traumas, then women can feel empowered and they can stand on their ground. You asked me a question, how did I overcome it? It is when I decided to open up and speak about it and speak to other ladies.
Yeah.
And, you know, I felt like something came out of my chest. I
Down the
felt
heavy burden.
this burden that was in me, it has just come out, you know. And from that day, and I did a documentary that was featured in South Africa some years ago, a long time ago. And after that documentary is when I felt like, you know what? It is done.
Yeah.
And then one day I met this guy, and he was walking on the street and he looked fine. And actually he said hi to me. And I was like, what? But I said, you know, it is well. I've forgiven you.
Wow.
I even had coffee with him after some times. I said, let's have coffee so that I can let go. So it also helped me to heal.
Yeah.
So healing is important.
Yeah.
Let's heal first as women.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do
And heal
very
the world.
well in politics, in social, in you know, in corporates, in business. But there's a need to speak out with no fear. I can speak about it like it just happened, like it happened many years ago. But
yeah, it's important.
and I
to
feel
show.
nothing in my heart. I've forgiven the person, and I am good to go.
You are.
African
For sure,
woman
we
is
need,
going through a lot.
we need to to create a basic and wonderful environment for this one beautiful lady to be able to grow to something. So I think, Mom, we need to teach.
You know,
society.
the thing is, what I see, and when I speak of the environment, it's not in terms of wealth or in terms of your surrounding. You can even be in slums, but you can create an environment for your children that is conducive. Second, where African women sometimes they're pulled backwards instead of forward, it's because of the surrounding, the friends who are around you. I told you I was raped through friends. Many other times, if you share what you're about to do with friends, it might never succeed. Because one, they will give you advice according to their understanding, and yet themselves, they have never been there. Today I was thinking of how can a woman advise you how to run your marriage while she's single, and also in her marriage, she's not succeeded in her marriage. How can a woman come to teach you how to bring out your children while her children don't go to school, while her children are just wasted in the city? How can that person create a platform that actually you can sit and listen to this woman? Africa, wake up. Who advises you? Whom do you listen to? We are very good at social media and wasting our airtime, listening to people. And I laughed one day in a cartoon whereby it was showing, I don't remember, I think it's a former president of America, Obama, whereby he was laughing when somebody was saying that they've written a book about, I think, making millions.
Millions of money and they're poor.
How can somebody teach you to make millions while in their account they have zero? While they go to pose with cars, they go to pose at Kempinski, and they go to pose in high hotels just to show this is the life they live, and yet they don't have that life.
Fake.
Change your mindset. I think we listen to the wrong people, and that is why we are failing every now and then. So when I speak of surrounding, this is what I'm speaking about. Who is your mentor? Who is your mentor? Who advises you? Who inspires you?
By the way, Mom, I think we need to go to mentorship because you've been a mentor to so many people in ministry and everything, but who mentored you? You know, I think we need a mentor, and I think we need to be speaking about this African woman who is looking at us today to be mentored with the right people at the right time.
Okay, then I think we should go to part 2 of this and we speak about mentorship. You know? Yeah, so thank you so much, viewers. We love you. God bless you. Look forward to the next episode. We are coming right back. Just remember to be surrounded by the right people at the right time, at the right place. God bless you.
See you soon.